all my air conditioning systems were taken on the outside of my buildings. And they were working air conditioners. And that was not what the job was for. And unfortunately, my air conditioner systems are my heating systems as well. And that was not a part of the cleaning out. Only things that were on the inside of my buildings were supposed to be removed from top to bottom. And not just that, those buildings are very large and a lot of things were stored when I bought them. So it's impossible from the time that I was given up until now for them to be completed. But at the same time, then when you have contractors that's not doing the job right, that came in, and then weather had something to do with it. But we're continuing to work. So some of the work is completed, but all of the work is not completed. And then I had to come and reseal the doors and windows so that people would not go in and out like they were coming and stealing. It was, and I had to get a report started with the chief. So that took place. And unfortunately, I do live out of town, but I am in constant check and I come constantly down here regularly to work with my buildings and with the ones that I've chose to work with my buildings. However, I cannot continue to let someone that's not doing the job completely the way that he should continue. So I have to hire.
Ms. Needham, do you have a police report?
Well, I have to give him a list. I spoke with the chief on 4 different occasions, and I have to make a list of everything that was taken, and I have to give him the actual sizes of those air conditioner units. And I'm working on that because I had some work done to those units as well, and he needed that report as well. Because he said he needed to know the sizes, not just that they were air conditioners.
What percentage of the work would you say is completed, or what's supposed to be completed by this time? What
I
percentage?
would say about 45% of the buildings that I mentioned. A lot of work is done.
And one has not been stolen.
Right. One was started, but so much went on there, I had to get him to stop. It was impossible to let up the continue.
The Commonwealth building
It's
is
completed.
complete. The jewelry store is half done,
The jewelry store is completed.
is complete, so
Yeah.
that's 2
Yeah,
out of the 4 buildings.
yeah.
Okay, and then you have the other
Babes.
store, Babes, is half done.
Uh-huh.
So you have another building that's just not done at all.
Right.
Oh, okay. So you have 1.5 buildings that's not completed. What you say is about, it constitutes about 45%
Yeah, I would say
of the
that,
work.
but remember there's second levels,
Yes,
so it has to be done properly.
okay. All right, well, now, I think that in our discussion, and I can hear, I think it's probably Mr. Dotson already has said that there's gonna be some bumps in the road, or probably something to that effect when we were talking. And I think we come to a bump in the road. We want to just get as much information about where we are as possible, and then let the board discuss what they feel about it at this point in time. Is there any other information regarding this that you need to share with us before we start talking?
We can say is, well, one thing I have to remind the board that whenever I send the contractors in, I have to then come and make sure that those doors are resealed, because that's a part of what the problem was, that people may go in and out. So I'm constantly having that reinforced as they work, because they don't see the main seriousness of those doors being resealed and screwed. And so that's what we kind of worked on for 2 days, to make sure that was right back where it should be until we started, because today is the 22nd. So I worked as hard as I can, humanly possible, with just the circumstances that took place.
And I'll say again, as I said before we came before this board, that we you know, for you to come and to continue to go back and forth and work, and then work with this board the way that you are. That's great, as far as I'm concerned to you. And it speaks to your interest in your property. Now, there are some things that you have mentioned, that things got going. You saying that you reported to the chief that there was a theft.
Yes, I did.
You had air conditioners there. Lines were cut.
Yes.
Okay. I do know that's an environmental issue there without recovering the Freon, unless they recover the Freon. I do know.
I was thinking of something like that.
Yeah, but I think that, somebody can check into that. And that's where I am, as to whether or not. I think that if anybody did it, they would admit to stealing it before they admit to cutting that line. I mean, that's a serious environmental issue there. That's something they don't want. That's a hot potato.
No, I'd like to add that they were working for that condition. They were not,
And if you know who,
you know, you can't even get in those buildings when they were being
Well-
rented without working air conditioning.
you know, Ms. Needham, I think that what we just need to do, that's what I think the board can speak on. I just think we need to make a decision as to what kind of timeframe we will work with and what we need to do. I'd like to hear from the members of the board at this time. We start with Mr. Watson and work our way down.
Okay. Ms. Needham, what time do you feel that you need to complete this demolition? Or clean out, as you call it?
I need the whole month of March and the following month,
March and April?
in March and April.
You're talking about 60 days from 75, 60 to 65.
Ms. Jackson.
So this just to clarify, her next deadline would be March the 22nd. At that time, she was to have contractor and engineers quotes on the estimated cost for repairs. And I'm just saying to remind everybody that that's what the next step would be.
The issue was that the contractors couldn't give an estimate until all the demolition had been done, so they could see the structure. They couldn't see the structure to make a repair without the demolition occurring first.
But for her sake, this is how the order was written, that she would have something in mind.
Right. That would mean we will have to extend it. We could, extend it or reset all the dates 60 days, if that's what the board decides to do. Mr. Shields, do you have a
Well, I think as long as it looks like she's being genuine in her effort, that we also, go along with her as best we could.
Mr. Dodson?
I'll agree with the comment the mayor made, that the fact you come down and address us timely each time we have the meetings, I agree also goes a long ways in, as far as your credibility, and that you're working at it. Has anybody been in, Nancy, from the town to see the progress on the work?
We actually took pictures today just to have for tonight.
Right.
I think they're passed down.
Yeah, I looked at them, it's hard to see the inside from those, especially because you're not comparing to them before. So from the town's perspective, do we agree with 45%? It being pretty accurate.
Yeah, a couple of the buildings, they did not go inside to take the pictures, some of them were taken from the back, because they didn't want to go through the doors.
But based on the scope of the size of this and the fact that the town agrees that you are putting this effort forward, I would also agree with the 60-day extension of the demolition, which would